everyone. Welcome to Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. And it's me, Banshee, for my Material Matters segment. Your weekly keys to success in business, education, and finance. And ho, 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 'tis the season. So I'm trying to get in a little holiday spirit here. I know that this is a different world we're living in, and celebrations are not quite what they used to be. And also, neither is the business and material world right now. So I'm curious to see this week what the cards are going to have to say. Whoops, as I move my set. And here comes Shadow. And so the one thing I wanted to say is that I hope everybody is staying safe, taking care of themselves and everybody around them during this crazy time with COVID. I don't know if you can see Shadow, but say hi to Shadow if you can. As always, we do a card for the collective first. So this deck that I am using today is Colette Baron Reed's Spirit Animal Oracle. It's one of my favorites. I really like it. And I usually read some of the interpretation because I'm, interested in maybe getting you guys interested in purchasing the Oracle for yourself. So let's see what we get. All right, what spirit animal guides us all this week? Wow, this is a good one for us. It's the fox spirit, and it's think on your feet. Be clever like a fox, I say, in all of our business. Think on your feet. Be alert now, for Fox Spirit has appeared, and you are meant to move swiftly. Let this clever spirit draw out your creativity as you adjust to rapidly changing circumstances with resilience, grace, and astuteness. Fox Spirit helps you think on your feet, using your best judgment and wits to help you slip into a more advantageous situation. Now is not a time to hesitate, but a time for swift action of the mind, a time to think outside of the box and notice the many ways in which you might make a move. Let me put the fox right there for a moment. Aware of your surroundings and always clear on what you deserve and wish to co-create. Trust that your cleverness, guided by Fox Spirit, will serve you well. I know the fox from the Lenormand card is also kind of a card for employees or workplace stuff and success. And it's about cleverness and sneakiness. And, that's not, sneakiness has a bad connotation to it. But, in the business world, sometimes you have to do things a little bit clandestine, to beat out the competition, etc. So that's what we have for everybody this week. Fox Spirit. So this is a crazy week astrologically, too. There's stuff going on. And, I am no astrologer by trade, but I will fill you in that this reading is good for all the signs. We're doing the elemental signs of the Zodiac from December 13th through 19th. The moon will go from Sagittarius through Pisces. And on December 14th is a new moon solar eclipse. And that will be in Sagittarius. But the moon is moving into Capricorn that day. Also, on the 15th, Venus is entering the sign of Capricorn, and Jupiter is going into Aquarius on the 19th. Now, like I said, I don't know much about my astrology as much as I should, but that Jupiter in Aquarius, that just sounds pretty good to me. So keep that in mind, everybody, as we move through the week ahead. And we're going to get started with the air signs, as we do every week. And we have Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, of course. This reading is for you. You'll start us off. Okay, and your focus for this week, air signs, is the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So that is our focus. And the Nine of Pentacles reversed is kind of indicating to me that, it's not necessarily, you see the pentacles and you see it's reversed and you kind of get worried and think, oh, maybe I don't have enough money, I don't have enough resources. But maybe this is saying you have too much of a good thing. Maybe the things you surround yourself with are getting to be, well, maybe overwhelming. Maybe they're cluttering up your life. That could be in your business affairs. That could be materially. Something is not pleasing you anymore. There's disappointment and a feeling that, that it's not right for you in some way. That's the focus, is trying to change that. What do you need to do to make yourself feel more comfortable with what you already have attained? Wow, and how best can you prepare for that focus? This is the Death card reversed. I think this is really interesting in relation to this card. What I think, air signs, is that, you have to focus on, if you're not satisfied, you need to shake things up. You're kind of stuck. And maybe you've felt that way for some time, that you're stuck. And I get right now with the COVID environment the way it is, it's not easy to move or change jobs, if that's the problem. If you're stuck at school, everybody is working virtually now and everything just seems so much more complicated. You just have to figure out a way to unstick yourself and think yourself into a new situation. And not just think, do. Because we can sit back, we could get stuck in our thoughts too. That's part of the problem. And so now maybe is the time to, what are you going to do to right this? And will people be supportive of you in the week ahead, or will there be conflict with others in the material world? Well, we have the King of Swords, and the King of Swords is reversed. Well, I kind of get the feeling that people may be kind of stubborn, kind of set with their attitudes. In other words, maybe they don't understand why you are not happy with the way things are. You might butt up against, maybe you want to make some changes in the workplace that would lighten your load a little bit or something, and maybe your supervisor or boss just doesn't understand what's wrong, what the problem is, and is kind of set in the way things are. So it seems like you might be up against a little bit of a brick wall with others this week, air signs. So will there be forward or backward movement, or no movement at all in the week ahead for you, air signs? And I have the Seven of Swords upright. This leaves me with one thought. And that is that if there's going to be forward or backward movement at all in this week ahead, it's up to you to make it happen. It's up to you to do the things, even if you have to, let's just say your boss is not very agreeable to some of the changes you propose. Maybe you just have to do them, undercover. Maybe you have to do. Basically, what this card is telling me is you have to do what you have to do to protect your own interests, Some of you might be seeking other employment. Some of you might be leaving jobs. Some of you might be retiring. Whatever the case may be, there is some need to shake up the status quo here for you air signs as I now go ahead and recap. You're not happy and comfortable with the life you're living right now materially. Whether it's not enough money, too much money, I seem to err on the latter, or too much resources, you're surrounding yourself with too much stuff, too much work, it's time to kind of break free from that, because it's getting you stuck. You're stuck in a rut because you don't know how to dig yourself out. And other people may not be that helpful here. They may not really see the problem from your perspective. So you're going to have to do a real sell job in order for them to get to understand, And the final result is, ultimately in the end, if you want any progress at all this week, you are the one that is going to have to look out for your own best interests. So hey, air signs, good luck with that in the week ahead. All right. Gonna move on to the fire signs now. what's hot and what's not for us fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This is for us for the week ahead. Well, fire signs, our focus for the week of heads is the Eight of Cups reversed. That's interesting to me because that kind of indicates, a return back to something that maybe, fulfilled you more. Maybe you're looking at either some past job, maybe some studies that you had taken up long ago and had abandoned, maybe some investments. Maybe you've been shifting your money around in different areas and you realize, I should go back to something I had good luck with before, that seemed to be good for me before. And I think that's what we're looking at now, is kind of like revisiting something from our, I don't know if I want to say our past, but something that we used to do, and reconsider, doing it again. How best can you prepare for that focus? Oh, it's our friend, not so much, the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is reversed here. And so I get I'm thinking that the Ten of Swords is telling us that the past is, what's done is done. We have to let go of certain things in order to, and you know what, maybe this is relating to this card in a way of maybe something from the past kind of burned you a bit, and you have some trepidation about revisiting these past, whether it's a past job or area of career that you were involved with, investments. Maybe you got burned in some way, or things were not handled well, and you're not sure, you're uncertain. You have to let that go. You have to let that go. What's done is done, and just because that happened to you before in this circumstance does not mean it's going to repeat itself. Have you learned the lessons from the Ten of Swords, from the past? Have you taken that into account? If you had, then no worries, but you need to let whatever reservations you may have because of some past difficulties go, so you can move forward with confidence. Wow, this is really interesting. So, will people be helpful or not in the week ahead? And I think for the air signs, we had the King of Swords reversed. For you guys, the fire signs, we have the Knight of Swords reversed. So, I think, a lot of what's going on this week might be out of your hands and into somebody else's. In a sense, somebody might make some decisions that may not benefit you in this week ahead. And maybe, this is something that you're going to have to figure out on your own. If this is a wise, how should I say this? If this is a wise opportunity or not. Because other people may not be giving you the advice you need to hear. They may be giving you advice that might be contrary to your best interests. Ultimately, will there be forward or backward movement or no movement at all for you fire signs in the week ahead? We have the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles is upright. I think what this indicates to me is there is possible good news, by week's end in regards to finance. Something good news for those of you who are students, and either turning in those final papers, possibly getting your grades by now, this late in the semester. Things are winding down and you are just waiting to hear positive results. This is definitely positive. Let's recap a little bit, because this was a little bit tricky, this reading, I think. I'm seeing the focus this week as exploring things that maybe you had done in your past, where you felt comfortable, if not successful. You were comfortable putting your money into certain investments. You were comfortable with certain areas of study that you were taking on. You were comfortable with, career choices or the job that you had back then. However, and so you're thinking of maybe revisiting that again, maybe going back and exploring some of this further, particularly students maybe, or people now who are in careers who maybe never finished a degree and might be thinking of going back and furthering their education. The Ten of Swords reversed indicates to me that, maybe some past hurts or pains or setbacks, that you encountered along that journey back then is what's holding you back. And I think the Ten of Swords reversed, being in this position of what you need to do to focus, to make this focus a reality, is that you have to let that go. You have to realize that you have learned a lot since that time, and that you are able now to move forward more confidently and realize that sometimes, you can revisit some things and have a different outcome, so long as you have learned, how to move forward in a more positive direction. And ultimately, will be people helpful or hurtful this week for you on this journey? I feel that maybe you should trust yourself, because others, they may have their own interests. Like, for example, maybe some of you want to leave a particular job or place of employment and move on. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to move them from my cards. And your supervisor, of course, would like to stop you from doing that. So I'm just thinking that the advice you might get from people may not be to your advantage. And ultimately, in the end, if you stay the course here, you will get some good financial news. You will reap some benefits. You will get good results if you're a student. You will get positive outcomes. Maybe you can say goodbye to a job, and as a new opportunity might present itself in an area maybe that you had been in before. So think about it. It's kind of a back to the future sort of reading for us fire signs, I think, this next week. Hey, good luck with that. All right, it's water sign time. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, this is for you for the week ahead. I hope it's smooth sailing. All right. Hey, water signs. You've got the Page of Wands. That's good news. That's good news for job seekers. That's good news for, maybe the growth of some investments. There's some good news in regards to enterprise, business coming in. Very, very positive. For entrepreneurs, people with ideas, you might find somebody receptive to, what you're trying to accomplish. Good start, water signs. So how best can you, focus on your attention on that? Wow, we have the Strength card. Well, I don't think you're really going to have to push very hard, let's just say, to make things happen. Sometimes a gentle, benevolent approach works wonders. So I feel here you should, definitely approach this confidently, but also with humility and take this in. I think what this is saying is you are in a strong position, as far as any new ventures or any new investments or any new activities go in the material sector. So what about people this week? Will they get in your way or will they be going with the flow? Well, we have temperance reversed here. And temperance first indicates to me that maybe there's a little bit of stress, particularly for those, in the work environment. People are tense, people are stressed out. It's the holiday season. And, for some people, maybe they didn't get bonuses this year. Maybe some people have had to switch careers suddenly. Maybe there's a lot more deadline pressure for those people who are in retail. And let's say in the packaging industry and shipping industry, this is a very stressful time. So there's a lot of stress right now between, people. So I feel like, they're going to, if you can just recognize that and maybe use that strength card to, be gentle with them. That would work wonders. And ultimately, will there be forward or backward movement or no movement at all? Hey, look at that fish jumping out of that cup there. Water signs as a page of cups. And so you've got 2 pages in this reading. So that's all new stuff. And I feel like ultimately by week's end, you're going to receive some news and messages that are going to be making you pretty happy, emotionally fulfilled. So I think this overall seems like a really win-win week for you water signs. Let's start off with that focus. That focus is just showing that there is new things afoot if you want them. If you're looking for a job, if you're doing an interview, or if you just had an interview, you might be getting some good news about that. As far as studies go, or let's say you're preparing to enter school in the winter semester starting January, things are looking up. Things are looking up for everybody. Investments look good. So you're focusing on that this week. Good news coming in. And how best can you prepare for that focus? Well, with humility and with strength. Be strong and firm, but be gentle, at the same time. Don't force issues. Don't force your agendas on anybody. Use quiet strength to be, to get to where you need to go. And then what about people this week? And this is especially important, this strength card, because people this week are going to be feeling a lot of stress and pressure. And it seems to me, water signs, you're skating. You're skating through this week kind of nicely. So, be understanding and kind to others who are not doing as well. And maybe in a way, don't force any work on them if they're overburdened. If they can't help you, they can't help you. Maybe you'll be in a position to lend them a hand this week. Ultimately, by week's end, there seems to be just this whole cycle is turning into good news, happiness, emotional satisfaction, and also it seems to me that this might propel you into the next week because the Page of Cups is a very creative card. There's a lot of creative energy associated with that card. And I feel as though this might spur some new creative ideas. You just might be teeming with ideas and your imagination might be working a little bit overtime by week's end, water signs. But hey, it might be a good thing since this is a very entrepreneurial or imaginative and creative time for you. Good luck. I don't think you're going to need it. So here we go with those stable, grounded earth signs. So readings for you. And that's for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. See what's out there for you. Wow. Your focus for the week ahead is the world. Well, it's always nice to focus on results. because in a way, when I think of the world card in a business sense and a material sense, I think of results, what's coming in. And so you've got your eye on the prize this week for sure, Earth signs. That is your focus. And you're looking to bring home the bacon or whatever the case may be. For your students, you're seeing the end in sight. And hey, some of you students are graduating, aren't you? It's December. So your journey may be coming to an end, and that's the perfect card for that. The world is now awaiting you. So how best can you prepare for this focus in the week ahead? Well, here's an idea. Look at that. It's the Three of Swords, but it's reversed. How about healing? How about, letting old wounds or setbacks go? How about just mending fences? Maybe there's been some conflicts that you've been going through in the workplace. This is a season for, people coming more together. And in this environment where it is not normal at all, and, people can't even get together as they usually do, it's great for us to all be kind of more kind with each other, forgiving of our faults, and, letting things go. 'Tis the season. Okay, so what about people this week, though? Will they be helpful or not this week? Well, the Wheel of Fortune is reversed in that position. And so I would say it's chancy dealing with others this week. They're going through a lot of their own stuff right now. They may not be in a good position to help you, and if they do, it just might not prove to be helpful. So you might want to steer clear, from people who might be, what's the word I'm trying to think of here? Maybe they've walked under a ladder or, some bad luck. They may have a dark cloud over them right now. And so it might be best if you just kind of manage things on your own and you don't work with others if you can avoid it. I know that's not necessarily easy to avoid. And ultimately, will there be forward or backward movement or no movement at all by week's end? Well, I think by week's end, you're going to find out something that you need to know. I don't know, it might propel you forward, but I almost think this is kind of a neutral card for the ending of the week. It's almost as if by week's end, you're going to find out something that you need to know in order to possibly achieve, the world here that you're focusing on. So let's talk about this. Let's recap a little bit here. So your focus for the week is your eye is on the prize. You just think the results are in or they're coming in really soon. You're very confident. You're moving towards bringing home the bacon, as I said. It looks as though, and like I said, some people, maybe there's a culmination here. Like myself, there's a lot of people at the end of the year that retire. So some of us are at the end of our journey and we've reached the pinnacle. And so, we're ready for new journeys in life. So how best can you prepare for that focus for this week is by healing, letting go of things that maybe setbacks from the past that haunt you, that may break down your confidence so that you don't move forward as easily as you should. You got to let all that stuff go because, hey, the prize is nearly here, so you shouldn't worry about that. And what about other people this week? I think other people, it may not... Well, sometimes the wheel turns up and sometimes the wheel turns down. Right now, I think other people are going through kind of a difficult time around you. Either they're stressed out they're behind in their work, they've got other clients to tend with. So take it easy. They're taking vacations. They may just not be that helpful because they've got a lot on their plate and maybe some things have actually been going wrong for them. So, it may not be in your best interest and it may not be very lucky for you to rely on others this week. And finally, forward or backward movement, no movement at all. You know, it's kind of neutral, but I think it's setting something up for you. It's interesting. I almost felt that way about the water signs too. I feel like by week's end, you're going to get some information that you need that either will let you know you've made it or what you need to do to finally achieve that pinnacle here that you are so focused on. Wow, not bad, Earth signs, so good luck with that. I think it's going to be a good week overall for you. So I want to remind everybody to pay attention to and check out Mr. O's Emotional Exchanges. Which comes out every Friday, and it tells you about the emotional side of life. You know, this is the material aspect, but we need that emotional side even in the material world, so we know how to deal with our customers, our coworkers, and, you know, everybody that we deal with. And also pretty soon we're going to have a monthly modality message that'll be coming on, I believe it's the solstice, whenever the sun changes to the next sign. We'll be doing our monthly modality message. And that's for all of the modalities of the Zodiac. A very unique reading. Join us for that. And if you subscribe to our channel, you'll get notification of when that video comes out. So please like, subscribe, and join us for more fun. And join me every Sunday when I appear in the chat room for my Material Matters segment. So that's it for me this time. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.